Hey, how are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. I'm going to begin by asking, I mean, if you look at other kind of Star Trek kind of projects, like Discovery, for instance, it's kind of run for 5 seasons, and generally there's quite a long shelf life for these shows and these characters, and we all kind of want to see them develop. So when you start a show like this, do you allow yourselves to think kind of long term and map out how things can develop over time, or do you just focus on the series ahead and go from there?
I mean, the honest answer is that the show could honestly run forever because every 4 years, people are graduating and every year new characters are coming in, right? So you're going to be meeting new characters every season, which means you could just run it forever. I think the truth is we haven't said it's going to be this number of years for the show. Honestly, one season, every time we tackle one season is enough of a challenge. And we always ask ourselves huge questions about what makes the season unique and special, and I think it takes all of our brain power to just tell that as a complete story.
Yeah, I mean, when Star Trek begins, it instantly feels like Star Trek. It's partly why we love it. There's this kind of sense of kind of comfort to the familiarity. Is it therefore quite kind of challenging to kind of craft something that carries the essence of what came before, but still feels very new and kind of unique of its own right?
I think it's actually really fun because we're able to weave so many layers of texture into it. Like there's the deep cuts for the deep fandom, and then there's just sort of the lighter things as well. And I think that then there's, you know, the magic of Starfleet Academy is that you don't have to have watched Star Trek before in order to get what's going on, in order to connect with the world. You know, everybody understands what a college is, and like that's kind of all you really need in order to watch the show. It makes sense. So there is a low entry level, but for the fans that love Star Trek and have known it forever, there's just so many layers in there for them to peel back and discover.
Yes. How do you think Starfleet Academy does kind of stand out in this world? What do you think? What do you think makes this kind of a unique kind of entry into this franchise?
Oh, there's so many things. The first is that typically when you watch a Trek show, you're meeting characters who have decided on their life path already. You know, they've set themselves on a course, they have a particular job on a particular ship. These cadets are figuring that out. And some of them go in thinking they want one thing, and like most of us will come out the other side of it realizing they want something entirely different, which is the whole point of college. And that makes it very different because you've got characters who are able to make mistakes that typical Star Trek characters are not afforded most of the time. That journey of self-discovery is a really exciting and very different thing to write, I think, than typical Trek. You know, it's also speaking to a very particular generation while speaking as well to OG fans. So, you know, we're telling people you don't have to be daunted by the 60 years of history. If you want to walk into the show and have a fresh experience, you should be able to walk into it with no foreknowledge whatsoever. But if you are a Trek fan and you've been watching it for 60 years, you're going to see a ton of deep cuts.
And I know, I mean, it's a great ensemble, but I wanted to ask specifically about Paul Giamatti and Holly Hunter. I mean, they're such fine actors. How did they both come to be involved in this, and just how thrilled were you when they signed up?
Well, we were beyond thrilled for both of them, you know, independently, and them together is like it's astronomical. Yeah, it's magic, and they were so excited to work with each other too, because they've never worked with each other before, and they're fans of each other. So for Holly, I think Nala Ake's voice and her energy and her presence was always Holly Hunter, and you know, we're such fans of hers. We think she's the greatest, and we didn't know if she would actually want to play a Starfleet captain, so we went to her and we asked if she wanted to do it, and she asked a lot of very good and probing questions, and then she said yes. And we couldn't believe it, because if she hadn't said yes, I don't know what we would have done. Like, she was always the one. And then for Paul, I mean, you should tell the story about Paul.
Well, Paul was doing the Holdovers tour, and somebody asked him, what's the part you want to play more than anything in the world? And he said, I want to play a Klingon. And when we heard that, we called his agent and said, is he serious? And she said, let me get back to you. And within an hour called back and said he would love to meet. And we met, we had this fantastic meeting. He's like, I'd love to do it. We said, all right, well, you know, we figured you'll do an episode, so here's 6 roles you could have. And he read the drafts and he said, I actually want to play the villain in multiple episodes. So we couldn't believe it, and we were thrilled.
Yeah, Paul he's such a good actor, isn't he?
He's
honestly he's one of my favourite actors of all time.
Ever. I
mean, but Star Trek, it's always been a place, it's not just a place to get these kind of familiar faces in that we kind of know and love. It's always been a great place, I think, to showcase up-and-coming talent as well. It's kind of part of its charm.
Absolutely.
Especially kind of in this. Is that a responsibility you guys feel? Is there a kind of conscious effort to kind of platform young performers?
Oh my God, yes. No, I think the fun of casting the show is discovering people. You know, I mean, you don't have any associations with the faces that you're seeing of our young cadets. Some of them were literally out of drama school. And that's super exciting.
And I'm not going to sort of dig deep here or get political, but the world obviously is in a bit of a bad place at the moment. This series is very much centered around a group of young people who are full of kind of hope and full of optimism, and they kind of need to kind of want to change the world. Do you think there's a kind of timely element to this series, and also serving as a reminder to viewers to kind of stand up and have our voices be heard?
Yeah, definitely. I think that right now, everyone, but in particular the younger generations, need a safe place to go. And our show is that for them, for everybody. And it's wonderful to be able to go to a place where everyone has a seat at the table. Everyone is accepted for who they are, regardless of their background, regardless of where they came from. I think that's an important and hopeful message that everyone needs right now, but especially this generation. They need to be shown that it is possible, despite all the division happening out there, that there is a place like Starfleet Academy where they can leave it behind and move forward.
And just very finally, I know actors often get asked in series like this if they ever take something from the kind of set. So I'm going to ask the producers for a change. And in the same way I have a kind of memory box, which has got old concert tickets or wristbands or little sentimental items I hold on to, do you have a kind of producer's box? Do you keep little souvenirs to mark passing experiences on projects?
Yeah, I have a closet where I put all of my stuff. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but one day it'll go up on a wall somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'll usually take some props from the shows, but I always wait until the end.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that won't be for a while yet. Thank you so much, guys. Much appreciated, and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Great talking to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!